As artists, we're always trying to put our work out there to get noticed, be it for fame or to make income as an artist by getting our name out there to get noticed so we can sell prints or to get a commission to do something. As an artist, what we need to work towards is to not do it for the fame or to not only do it for the money, because that's not always going to be there. And as an artist, it's very difficult to make a living from only creating art because there's so many people that are doing it. There's so much competition. But I think that competition is good because it brings out the best artists out of us, to push ourselves beyond the limits of what we thought was possible, to continue creating and to make better work than what we made before, and to not think that we can't create something good just because we don't have that natural talent to do it, that we don't think that we can do it because someone else is doing really good. And I think that in a way, that competition for some people can be bad because they'll look at the work of someone else and they'll think that they can never get there, that they can't achieve that because they're not there yet. And so it's kind of like a double-edged sword. In a way it's helpful, in a way it's bad. But I think that as an artist you need to have the perspective to see things from a positive point of view. Don't compare yourself to other artists and think that you can't achieve that. That might be their way of drawing, that might be their style. But at the same time, don't create bad artwork and call it a style and say that that's just the way that you create. That is if you're trying to get better. If you're trying to do realism or do artwork that people find interesting, create what you want to create. Don't just create for the sake of creating for attention. And try to do your best, try to improve. And for me, one of the reasons I create and do artwork is because it gets my mind off of a lot of things. And it helps me to where I don't have to deal with depression, and I have a lot of thoughts that are always going through my head, and I take all those ideas that I have and I put that on the paper. I take all that creativity and all these thoughts that are just going on, and I do my best to express that onto paper for everyone to see. We see other artists that are famous like Da Vinci or Michelangelo or maybe a lot of the modern artists that we know today, but there are many artists that no one even knew about that after they passed away they were seen as some of the greatest artists and the greatest minds in all of history. And so don't worry so much about comparing yourself to these people that are one in a million pretty much. They're not normal, everyday type of artist or type of person. They're very different. So your goal as an artist is to create out of the love of it. Don't do it because you want to be famous, because not a lot of people get famous. It's a very competitive, very hard-working field to work in. You really have to just do it for the love of it. Because if all you did was create for the fame or for the attention or for the money, that's not always going to be there. And if it comes to a point to where you don't have that fame, that attention, or that money, and it's gone, you'll stop creating. And that's why you have to create for the love of it, because if you do it just because you love it, you'll keep creating every single day and pushing yourself to improve, because you're doing it for yourself. You're doing it because it helps you get your mind off of things. You're doing it because it helps with dealing with depression. And just continue creating for those reasons. Don't do it because you feel that you have to prove yourself to other people, or because you have to prove to other people that, hey, I can do this, that I'm going to be a famous artist, or that no, my work is better than someone else. And something that really discourages is when we see someone else's work and we think that we can't get there. I used to be that way a little bit, but now I see other people's work and I take their work when I look at it and I study it. I look at all the different details of how they did it to make myself improve. And they might be a famous artist, and they might not be a famous artist, but that doesn't really matter to me. What matters is I'm doing it for the love of it, and to always push myself and to try to improve. With anything we do in life, with any sport, activity, or any field of study, there was always going to be a top percentage of people that are really good, and then you have a lot of people that are in the middle, and then you have a lot of people that are at the lower end. There's something that separates someone from being professional from being amateur, and I think that's work ethic. The most important of anything, more than talent or anything, or more important than what's happening in your life, is work ethic. It doesn't matter if you have bad things happening in your life. It doesn't matter if you don't have a lot of income. It doesn't matter if you're not famous, if you have a lot of money. It doesn't matter if you don't have any talent. None of that really matters as long as you have the work ethic to keep pushing yourself and to keep trying. And creativity is something that not everybody has. And creativity isn't really something I consider as part of talent, because someone can have talent, but if they don't have the creativity and they don't enjoy doing that field of work, you know, be it artwork such as painting or drawing, if you work in acrylic, oil, or any of those different mediums, if you don't have an interest in it, it doesn't matter how much talent you have, because you're not really going to have an interest in pushing yourself that far, because you're not going to have a reason to. It's just going to become boring to you, and you're not going to want to create anything anymore. And so creativity is very important, I think. Creativity and hard work is more important than if you just have talent. Although talent can push you a little bit farther and give you that slight edge, it's more important to just continue creating, to just create work that you enjoy, and to do it for the love of it, because fame isn't the most important thing in art. It's not the end-all goal as an artist to try to seek fame. Just keep creating out of the love of it, and don't ever give up just because you see someone else that's creating artwork that's very good, and don't give up just because you're not famous. And if one day you do end up being famous, don't change yourself. Don't try to change your artwork and to do things just to please other people, just because some people say that you should be this way or that you should be that way. Just be yourself and keep creating. And don't worry about if you're famous or not, because maybe one day you'll get there, maybe not. But that doesn't really matter. And like I said before, as long as you're doing it for the love of it, it's not going to matter if you're famous or not. So get out there and just keep creating, and don't ever give up.